Most of you know who I am. My name is Rod Soto. I see a lot of familiar faces. I see Sam, I see Kathleen. Welcome. How are you guys? Awesome to see you. Today, you had to click on got it. Whoever that is.
That's me.
Okay. Today we have 3 presentations. We have Max, who's going to talk about, I believe, smart contracts.
Yep.
Max is, there he is. Max is a success story from Pacific Hackers. He recently has been employed by a blockchain company, and I'm sure he's going to be very successful. Then we're going to have Irvin. Is that you next or Zach?
Zach. I'm supporting Zach, but Zach is the
Zach,
main
right,
event.
okay, great, thank you, man. So we're gonna have 2 presentations. What about PowerShell and the other one with Bash? Am I correct?
Mhm.
Great. So then, what do we have next month?
Wireshark.
Wireshark. Okay, great. So what we're trying to do is basically what we're doing in the East Coast. We're doing hybrid meetings. These meetings will be recorded and then published on YouTube. We're already working. You probably will be approached at one point for the Dark Arts Village and RSA. I guess we'll approach you individually for courses and stuff like that. We just went to another location. We went to the Hacker Dojo actually. And we're starting to sort of plan for November this year, I guess. See if we can bring back the con. We're trying to see how we can make it the most affordable possible. Other than that, we will continue doing our meetings. If you have any suggestions about presentations, please bring them up. We can always stack talks. And then obviously we have, if you actually, I'm not sure if we have published what's coming next, but we have a lot of hands-on stuff. We last year, a team from Florida won a black badge. Hopefully one day we will win one as well. Although we do have a black badge champion right there. So technically he already won it, but we would like to win it again. So thank you for coming. And then with that, I am gonna, you want to say something?
No. Just as a reminder, this is the meetup, but we also, we came for the people online who has touched with us recently. We became a nonprofit, so it's called Pacific Hackers Association. And, we're basically trying to do the same thing, right? We're trying to, help people to get into cybersecurity. We try to place them into, workplaces, get into the field. But, we cannot do it by ourselves. We need help and, help whether if you're hiring, please let us know that you're hiring, because that way we can let, our members know that you guys are hiring. If your company has some type of program for donations, like my company, for example, just recently posted that if you donate $1,000, they'll put another 1,000, they basically match, right? So if you have something like that and you would like to donate to us, we are open for donations. And again, or if you have a member or a person who's looking to get into the field, doesn't know where to start, please send us our way. The website is pacifichackers.org, and the email is info@pacifichackers.org. So if you have any questions or anything, please send us our way, and we'll be more than happy to help them. And nothing else. I mean, we're starting very strong in 2022. We're doing it hybrid, and we're going to continue doing so until the end of the year, possibly a con. But you will hear us as we move on the year. So with that, I'll leave the floor to Max and whoever is next.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll send that.
Okay, thanks, Marco. Should I start now?
Yes, please share your screen.
Okay, can everyone in the real world or in the room there hear me?
Yep, we hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay, so the goal of this presentation, this activity, is to just get you started on this Capture the Ether game. It's a game where you hack Ethereum smart contracts. I'll get into what that is in a second, but just to be clear, to start, you're going to need a browser extension called MetaMask. So MetaMask is it's a free add-on. It acts as an Ethereum wallet. You just sign up, create an account on, say, Firefox or Chrome, whatever you use. And you'll need that to participate today. So while I'm giving an introduction, feel free to go and do that. And the other thing we'll be using today, we might not have time to get to it, but I'll also mention it, is Remix. If you go to remix.ethereum.org, post that in the chat, maybe. It's an IDE. You can access it from your browser, and you'll be using, this is what you can use to write smart contracts. But anyway, we'll get into that later. So just threw a bit of jargon out there. How many of you know what a smart contract is in terms of the blockchain? Bring up the chat.
There is a question there for you on how secure is MetaMask.
Oh yeah, I can blow up the resolution. So MetaMask is, I mean, it's fairly secure. It's it's about as secure as you keep your password to it. It's not like a hardware wallet where only you have access to it. Like I believe you use your password to get into your account, and your account controls your Ethereum. But other than that, it's trusted. It's used by people in the company I just got an internship at, on chain. So, but we won't be using it we won't be working with actual Ethereum. We'll only be using test Ethereum today. So you don't have to worry about using it for anything else. All right, so yeah, if you have any more questions, just ask me, post in the chat. So a little bit of background. It's a bit of a complicated technology, but in the most basic sense, smart contracts are digital contracts stored on a blockchain that are automatically executed when certain conditions are met. And more specifically, take Ethereum, for example. The Ethereum blockchain was built with a new technology idea in mind, where instead of just writing a transaction to a block and then writing that onto the blockchain, you could write code to a block. And then when that code is added to the blockchain, all the nodes in the blockchain network, everyone in the peer-to-peer system working with the blockchain, executes that code on their own computers and changes the blockchain in some way. So for instance, this could be used to say I write a smart contract. You can think of it as a program, really. I write a smart contract that prints out the words "Hello World," and I then put that on a block. The block gets mined, it gets put on the blockchain, and now there's a message publicly on the blockchain that says "Hello World." That's a basic use of it. It could be used for many other things. It could release funds at a specific time to specific people. You can use it to well, register a vehicle, send notifications, issue tickets, non-fungible tokens, if you've heard of them, NFTs, those are written in smart contracts. And the applications are just going to get more and more prominent as this technology advances. So does anyone have any questions about smart contracts, how they work? It'll be a little conceptual first, but well, anyway, going through this, you may get a better idea. So does everyone who wants to participate have MetaMask installed on their browsers?
I have a thumbs up in here.
All right. Okay, if you're having any trouble, just let me know. So I'll just go ahead and get started. First thing they'll do, go ahead and go to capturetheether.com. That's the game we're gonna play, and just hit let's play. The way this works, the warm-up challenge basically has instructions to get started. First is installing MetaMask, which we already did, and then we'll switch to the Ropsten test network. So by default, we're on the main Ethereum test network. That's where all the real Ethereum is. It costs money to deploy smart contracts there. We don't want to do that. We want to go to a test network. So up here, there should be a little drop-down menu that says Ethereum mainnet. If you go down, you may have to show test networks and go to the Ropsten test network.
Max, we don't see what you're pointing at.
Oh, is it? Okay, let me reshare my screen. I bet it's not. I bet it's only sharing the browser, not the pop-up. Okay. Now, when I click on MetaMask, can you see this now?
Yes.
All right, great. So as I was saying, in the top here, there's a drop-down menu. And if you click on it and you click well, it's in the settings here. If you click show/hide test networks, you can go to the settings, turn it off or on. You want to turn it on. And then go back here, switch to the Ropsten test network. If you see here, I currently have around 5 Ethereum in the test network. It's not real Ethereum. So if we're able to get there, that's the next step. Next, we're gonna get some test ether. Now the way you get test Ethereum on a test network, is my connection good? I'm kind of, okay. The way you get test Ethereum is through a faucet. MetaMask has a test network faucet, but I'm going to be using something a little different. Yeah, okay. I kind of looked around for a faucet that would actually give a good amount of Ethereum in a good amount of time, since a lot of them are kind of finicky, and I found this one. It's a faucet. It gives out 5 Ethereum at a time to anyone with a Google sign-on. So 5 Ethereum is plenty to do what we're doing
Can you
here.
make that bigger?
Yeah, sure. How's that?
That's cool. Can you stick the link in the chat?
Just did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I shout out to the people at Portland State University for setting this up. So if you click here, you can sign in. If you have a Google account, just sign in. And then to get your Ethereum address, click on MetaMask. And down here where it says account 1, your your address is right below it. You can copy it to clipboard, paste it here, and hit get Ethereum. Now I already got 5 Ethereum. I don't know if he'll give me any more, but we'll see. Like I said, 5 Ethereum is plenty. I'm just doing this as an example. Might take like 30 seconds or so for the transaction to go through. In the meantime, it doesn't show anything. When you go to this website,
Yeah, this is the same screen that I got, but then if I click on MetaMask extension, I don't see it.
oh, got you.
Oh, maybe I need to refresh list.
It'll take a little while for the Ethereum to appear in your account.
Okay.
So we may have to wait here. My Ethereum hasn't arrived yet. This is from previous amount. So yeah, just give it a few minutes.
Sam got his right away.
Yeah, I got 5 ETH. In fact, I can send it to anybody who's needing.
Right?
We might be sharing some ether around here.
But you probably only need like 1 ETH or half an ETH to do everything we're doing.
If anyone's not getting any Ethereum, I can transfer a couple to you, and yeah, we can share.
And they use it to buy some pizza.
Unfortunately, they aren't tied to real currency on the test network.
I mean, is it real currency? No. I'll stop right there.
I mean,
Broke my heart.
Moving on.
it doesn't have market value.
Moving on.
We're just about
Okay,
zeros.
Right?
Not to the left, but to the
to answer your question, Shannon, I'm not sure. I know it works with Firefox and Chrome. It probably works with Safari and Edge. I haven't tested that. The only real requirement for capture the ether is MetaMask. The other stuff is optional. So, some of you have your ether. Some of you already have your ether. Some of you are still waiting. I'll just keep moving along, and when you get your ether, you can follow. Basically, here it says to do it again because I've already done it, but yours will probably say, start challenge. If you click on it, what will happen conceptually is this code right here. This is Solidity code. Solidity is a smart contract language. And here in Solidity, you can see a smart contract is defined. In a programming sense, for all of you programmers, a smart contract is comparable to a class in other programming languages. They can have variables, they can have functions. This one has a function. And what we're doing right now is we're really just, we're going to deploy this code to the Ethereum testnet by hitting that button, the start challenge button. If everything worked well, it should pop up with your MetaMask extension. What just happened? Are you guys seeing what's on my screen?
yes.
It's so purple.
So this is what happens when you mess with smart contracts.
Oh no. Okay, I think it has something to do with the sharing. I have to reshare, but I need to. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
There
all
you
we-
are. There you are. Okay.
All we see is pink.
Give me a moment.
Fuchsia.
Okay.
Pink, fuchsia, same difference.
Let's try that again. I need to change my distribution. I realized I was on a rolling distribution and not a stable one. But that's for another story. Okay. So, like I was saying, an extension should pop up here. And to perform any transaction on an Ethereum network, it did it again.
Is an M4?
What was that?
Is this a Mac M4?
No, I'm on Linux.
Oh. Oh.
Are you running Arch?
No, I'm running Kali.
Oh,
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah, that's actually worse.
Yeah.
Nothing ever works in Kali, man. Hey.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard way. Tell you what, I will leave and come back real quick. And be back soon.
Potty break.
Yeah.
You guys know where the restrooms are, right? They're that a ways. Yes. Sri, this recording goes on YouTube.
On YouTube? Oh, cool.
On
Yeah.
Pacific Hackers'
Yeah,
YouTube.
the Pacific Hackers channel on YouTube, that's what we're gonna post on.
Yeah. So you get to see as we awkwardly wait for Max to come back. And twiddle our thumbs.
Not the same, no.
For those who are new, we do have a Discord channel where all kinds of stuff are going on right now with the, everybody's watching the news. So a lot of information flowing, and I'll suggest you join. There's all kinds of stuff going on besides this meetings. And I'm sure as soon as the meetings adjourn, we'll be flooded with new intel. There's like, seriously, there's all kinds of stuff going on right now.
All right, sorry for the wait, everyone. If you've been able to figure this out on your own, in the meantime, then good for you. I'm gonna try again. Okay, so as I was saying, every transaction on the Ethereum blockchain has a gas fee. That gas is paid to the miners to incentivize them to mine your block and put it on the blockchain. So it should be a small amount relatively to what you have now. Just go ahead and hit confirm. And what will happen in a moment? Usually it take about 30 seconds because the block has to be mined before the contract actually gets deployed. So to give some background, basically, once this contract is on the blockchain, it's compiled into bytecode. All right, so here, transaction confirmed. It's on your MetaMask transaction list now. And it says the contract is deployed at this address. Now you can actually click on this and go look at it on Etherscan. Etherscan is it's an informational platform that can give you information on Ethereum addresses, Ethereum contracts, all kinds of stuff. It'll show you the balance that's in that address. Here, it knows there's a contract here. And as you can see, actually, the contract has been written to the blockchain in bytecode. You don't need to know what that is. What PC do I have? You'll have to be more specific. I'm currently running Kali Linux, and I need to switch off of it since it's not stable.
Sorry, this was being annoying. That was dumb.
Yeah, I've been hearing about people Zoom bombing for years, never seen it actually happen.
Yeah, do you know who it was? Casey?
Vicky Rios.
Vicky Rios.
This is probably a fake name.
John Zarber.
Yeah.
Well, we can
I go to all meetups.
do that.
everything online though, so it's like, man, it could be anything.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad. Not the worst I've experienced.
There,
It'd be worse.
right? Yeah, it could be worse.
Nice.
There.
Oh, yeah.
You have control, right?
Yeah, I got control again. Cool.
Do them on Twitch.
Um,
Can't really bomb them.
Change the link, maybe?
Nah.
But I'm also in college.
Okay.
Anything else, Max?
Well, there was one more step, and then you can head off. Try your own.
Okay.
I'll just finish it quickly because this has been kind of rough. So basically, we've got the contract deployed at this address, and now we can actually make another transaction to call functions at this address. That's what we're going to do. All we're going to do is call is complete, and it will return true and give us the points. And capture the ether will do this for us. We hit check solution. It'll ask us to perform another transaction. So this time we are writing a function call to the blockchain instead of a smart contract. We do that. Give it a few seconds. And we did it. Problem solved. Okay, that's it. That's my presentation.
Thank you.
Have fun. Feel free to play with it in your own time.
Awesome.
All right. Let's see if I can.
You should be able to share screen. Thank you, Max, for that.
I make you co-host, right?
Yeah, Zach is co-host. Cool. Handing it over to Zach now.
All right. So, shall we play a game? A hands-on introduction to Linux and PowerShell. Let's. So if you're here, this isn't that necessary given the sign right next to it, but this is the Wi-Fi if you haven't been on it already.
What happened?
I don't know.
I see your mouse.
Well,
Technical difficulties at a technical meeting? Come on now. Oh, Vicky the second is spamming. Can you knock her out? Remove, submit. Goodbye.
Well, I'm just gonna do it from here.
Yeah, try to log out. And then,
You need to hit the.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
right, now you log in.
So we're gonna be playing some war games. So what is a war game? Basically, they're fun little challenges to help you practice security. And so they're similar to CTFs, but war games are usually focused on a single topic, and it's sort of like you level up through them and it gets deeper and on the same thing. So today we're doing a CTF. This is a chimera because we're doing a CTF comprised of war games. So this CTF is, if you're an absolute beginner and you actually want to be like read things and it tell you how things work, you can go through Linux Journey. That is a part of the CTF, so you still can do it for the points. Over the Wire Bandit, which is Linux-based puzzles. Also, it's pitched to absolute beginners, but it's more of a trial by fire because you like you kind of have to look stuff up for yourself. So they'll give you some hints of commands to look up, but definitely Google. Think about like what you're actually trying to do, and then ask like how to do it. And Under the Wire, Century is similar to Bandit, but it's with PowerShell commands. So you can start now. This is the link. I'm going to be going through sort of, if you're a beginner, I'm going to talk about how to approach some of these challenges. But if you just want to get ahead and start competing, there's the link. I believe it's also posted on the Zoom or in the meetup.
Oh yeah, let me put that link here in the chat. There you go, in the chat.
All right, so we're going to start with Bandit just because that's the what I'm doing. So the first thing you got to know if you're a newbie is the manual. Read the manual. So if you don't know what a command does, there's a list in Bandit of the things, the commands that might be relevant to the challenge. Just run man before it and it'll tell you what to do. So we're going to start at Bandit level 0. And sort of once we're part of the way through this, we're going to ask people to come up and talk about some of their own solutions, because there's many different ways to solve these different things. So if you come up with a creative way, we can sort of play Bash golf or any of these things, trying to just, if you come up with something interesting, don't hesitate to share it. So just starting off, we're going to start as basic as possible. SSH, you need to connect to this server. So the SSH information is, the host is bandit.labs.overthewire.org and port 2220. So SSH uses the open SSH client, and it's a program for logging into a remote machine and for executing commands on a remote machine. You don't see anything visually. There's no GUI or graphical user interface. It's just the command line. So how you actually connect is you have to specify the user, the host, the port. If it's not port 22, 22 is default. This is 2220, and then the password. But dear Lord. So here's all the different things you can actually choose in SSH. There's a lot of different options. You can read through the manual on your own if you really want to dig deep into it. But what I recommend is for these challenges, as you level up, and you get to, as you go from user bandit 0 to bandit 1 to bandit 2, this is the way that I found the easiest, because you specify the host, the port, and then -L is the user. But because you're going to be exiting and then logging in to the next user each time, if you press up on the command line, it'll just autofill what you already had. You can just press delete and press bandit 1, bandit 2, bandit 3 instead of, otherwise you would do SSH bandit 1 at bandit.labs. And so you would have to go all the way to the beginning of the command. So this is just the easiest way, in my mind, of doing it. So next thing, this is, oh, am I not sharing the? So this is the actual site that the CTF is being hosted on, which the link is posted in the meetup and in Zoom. So these are the different challenges. So this is Linux Journey. If you want the basics explained to you, like you can do getting started, it'll tell you all these different things that are possible on Linux, and you can just go through the challenges here, and it'll give you a lot of explanation as you go. The other way, the other place you could start if you're doing Linux is Bandit. Guess this is not very
It's the same.
easy
Same
to
exact
see.
question and everything.
Yeah, so here's, like as I was saying, here are the commands that you may need to solve this question. So if you do want to look it up, you can, in your terminal, just go, so ls was one of those commands. You can run manual ls, maybe, and it will give you all the information about this command. So this is for listing directory contents, which is probably the most basic thing that you would do in Linux. It's basically just opening up your file explorer and seeing what files are in a directory. So I'll let you all get after it, but here is the site for to start and how you submit. Once you find the answer to a level, you can enter the flags here. You can say which series you're doing: B for Bandit, LJ for Linux Journey, U for Under the Wire, which I'll get to in just a second. And you can say which challenge it was. You can submit your name and the flag. And so we can see over time at the scoreboard, this will be populated once people start actually submitting flags.
And by the way, hands off to Sam for getting that set up for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And
Sam.bow@gmail. Sam.bown.
gosh, I wish I fit the screen.
You know, I think it's the TV. It's the TV, the weird TV setting.
So
But I'll let people get started, then I'll play with the TV.
So if you're going to start with the PowerShell, so they tell you to join the Slack, but you don't actually need to do that. The first user is Century1 and the first password is Century1, I believe. So if you get to that, or if you're doing that first, this will, instead of connecting you to a Linux box, it's going to connect you to a Windows machine where you can use PowerShell commands. So I believe I'll let you all get started, and I'll put up the link again. All right.
And please put in the chat if you need any help and or scream in here.
All right, and call me over if you want anything, and if you want to show off one of your solutions, maybe depending how competitive you are, maybe you'll wait till towards the end, but we're going to talk about different ways of solving the bandit and under the wire.
Sam, how do I make the thing refresh?
Oh, it's in there, special scoreboard to refresh and summary.
Thank you.
Yep.
What's up?
I got it.
Okay. If you need something, just let me know.
It's a single letter W. Yep.
So you're actually connecting into a server, so
So no.
So no. So no.
So
so
no.
you can connect to it from
Yeah.
Windows,
Okay.
from anything.
Yeah, and if you're on a Mac and you're using a shell, is that all right too?
Yeah, I mean, once you SSH in, you're just going to be in the Linux environment.
Okay.
So that's why I think this
But
is a good
sometimes
place to
there's
start.
glitches if you go through a Mac, even though,
Yeah,
You see what
it
I'm
depends.
saying? yeah, so it's better to use with.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the same no matter what.
Okay,
Like, I mean,
'cause I haven't used it.
do you have a Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find on the Mac.
Yeah,
So I think
Yeah.
I'm getting a window.
like SSH, you'll have this
Yeah.
command. It'll work
Okay,
slightly differently, but Macs have it.
yeah.
Like,
Probably.
But anything you SSH into, you're pretty much at the mercy of whatever operating system you're on. Like if you're in Windows, you're not gonna be using your new Linux
Oh,
commands
okay,
anymore.
yeah,
You're
it's
using
for
PowerShell.
that hypervisor layer, sometimes it would be problem.
well, yeah,
For interoperability, it's not ideal.
Right,
So you
right.
can get things happening, you don't know why, and you spend hours bugging. You bugging.
For the SSH?
For going through the map, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
SSH, but from a map.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Using hypervisor.
Like if you like SSH into like a Windows environment, then you will no longer be using your Linux or Unix commands, the CSH, but you'll be using PowerShell. Pretty much.
Yeah, but when you use
Yeah,
exclusive
and,
window, right, you use exclusive.
I use Mac.
Oh, really?
I have a Mac.
Oh, that's what I want to know, and no problem.
I have an M1, so I'm like kind of like in limbo with a lot of software right now.
yeah.
Is what?
I don't have a Intel anymore, so I'm in limbo with a lot of software right now.
Oh, okay.
With the new chip, they need to, a lot of software has to be
Has to be.
like reworked, remade for it because
Yeah.
they have a different.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what because some application, they say, oh, they port it over to map.
I know what happened, they blocked us from IP,
And then you have to use a hypervisor.
Did they really?
because all coming from the same IP.
Yeah.
So when I got it, nobody else.
Oh, that makes sense.
Well,
There's
for
only a thing of
the
one.
newer Macs, you need to use either
You want that
parallels
one.
I have the one.
or
Oh, and they only
VMware
have
doesn't
one
have the
IP?
public.
Well,
You have to
per
use
day or
your
something.
Got it.
style.
So anyway, now that you have that
Now,
in
if you
there.
guys have a VPN.
Yeah.
I have my personal hotspot until I get my
But
own.
for this kind
If you
of
have a
thing,
VPN.
There's no
hacking
hypervisor.
stuff-
You can't turn them on.
Oh, okay, but for
Yeah, but
this
that's why I
kind
got
of
my
thing,
Make
how
change.
do
You have to go to your phone.
you-
hotspot.
Well, it depends on what you want to do.
That's right.
Like if you want to run a different operating.
mean, so-
system,
Oh, I
that's
get
the cloud.
that. It's separate.
You can use like Google Cloud, where it's your.
That's
so,
funny,
like,
anyway.
Yeah, so I
you have
mean,
to run like a virtual machine, like I want to run.
Yeah,
That's why I
so-
just
on my
that it's wrapped up.
newer
Well-
Apple device, then I would.
so I mean, just connecting to this server,
Only option.
there's nothing happening on this. Like, there's no,
Yeah, I really like,
so
I really like
once
virtual.
you
box,
once you
but
connected to it,
Unfortunately, they
like
have
you're just in it.
But this kind,
the
yeah.
deployed anything for.
But for,
Architecture. But I think it's using virtual.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, not
I don't know.
necessarily,
But
but
your rules is
things
Yeah.
like that, that you want, that's still,
You gotta pay for.
that's still in,
They have a lot of
nascent stage.
Yeah.
Just to claim it. I don't know.
like,
I
don't know about, like, virtual machines on Macs, but like, basically in a virtual machine, you're pretty much separate. So, like, I have like malware labs where I just have like virtualized computers that are in private network that can't connect even to my computer. They're just like I can drop files in, but like they aren't connected to the internet. So, like, you can separate things and have it be separate.
It's just for work, it's really very small.
Yeah, so you can just host it here, but for a lot of the like actual hacking of sites, like a lot of it is in the cloud. So you connect to, and it's unfortunate if you use tryhackme.com, you can connect to an attack box on their private network, and then you're hacking another computer on their private network. So you know, like,
Yeah, I think.
anything available.
you don't actually do anything with it. You're actually
For Windows 11, so it's only Windows 11. Unless you want to deploy anything.
well, so I mean,
Or even with the Raspberry
Mac is,
Pi,
you know, Unix based, right? Like all the commands are the same.
Yeah,
Windows running.
right. But the next
I mean, you can still open the terminal and like go around the directories and homebrew. But like on Windows,
Yeah.
it's funny that Windows for me has brought Linux to the desktop, because
You like it? You like
you
how
can use Windows subsystem for Linux, which this is actually a Linux terminal
right.
on my Windows computer. Like I have here, I can connect to, here's Kali, here's
Does it lay off, does it allow
tools
your
for what? No.
use as much
Linux has
power, or I don't know what kind of router you're switching to, like, do you have like
So,
IPS or?
like you can download like Fiddler.
Do you have GSM? Is there like, do they have like?
You can download Burst Suite, you can download OAuth app, but basically the terminal isn't really as easy to do. Like PowerShell is important because it's heavily used in IT. Like most corporate networks are, everyone's on a Windows workstation, and they have, you know, Windows Active Directory, which basically is like, I don't know if you have you had a work computer that like you have to sign in at company.com. Well, I just mean like when for a company that does do that, so usually that's past a certain size. A lot of startups don't really do that, but basically you can push changes out to everyone. Like they own the computer even though it's works.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah. So
You connected to this client.
It wasn't slow.
yeah, I mean, there's like a server that's a domain controller that is in charge of everything that, you know, google.com or whatever. And so if you're in, I don't even know if Google uses that. But anyway,
What is the simplest way for somebody?
Oh, it is. Which one?
yeah. So that's over the wire. For me, that's over the wire. It's over the wire, the site I showed. I mean, both of them are challenges, but so here's the site. This band is aimed at absolute beginners. It will teach you the basics needed to play other games. So you can do Linux Journey, which is what it is. So we have Linux Journey, we have Bandit, and we have PowerShell. So this is aimed at actually,
That way.
like the whole connecting into the server.
You know what I should do? Out is move the chat over. Just in case we see somebody.
It's just a little bit difference and never
See if somebody says something.
Yeah. 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 So this is from a Windows command line. Now I'm signing into Bandit. So now I'm in a Linux environment. So I can run ls and cat, which is a Windows command. So but if I exit, now I'm back in Windows. C drive. If you like from Mac, it's the same thing. You'll disconnect it. I mean, you can't go to a website.
Learning prior to that, I was doing.
or to a site.
I mean, like when you're connected to this computer, you're only connected in this browser. Yeah. So I mean, I can curl. I don't know if I can curl Google. Yeah. I don't. I think. Yeah. So. Yeah. So like. Yeah. Variable a equals 1, and then I should say array. So if you this is an interactive terminal, right? Which you can do in Mac and Windows, but you can also here, I'll just go back. So here I have here's a Python file, not just 17.5. So here, see, under Python, I can open it in text editor. So here's the Python.
Yeah.
And so no, I mean, so it's already a file on Linux. So I can print it to the terminal, or I can open it in a text editor. But if I want to run it, I just say Python 3, not just 17, and then it'll run. I don't actually remember what this does, but yeah. So there's an error. Yeah. So you don't actually need a development environment, an integrated development, like Eclipse or Visual Studio. You can literally write code in Notepad and then just run it from your terminal. But most people want functionality like debuggers.
Yeah.
But I find if I'm just doing basic scripts, I just run it from here. And you can Google how Python works, right? But I will often just open a Python terminal and just be like, so how does it work if I want to combine two? So A equals test string, this is a string, and then B equals 2. What happens if I try to add these two things together? There's an error. You can't add text to a number. That's what this says. Yeah, so I'm like, oh yeah, right. So I can convert it string plus A, and then it'll say 2 test. So there's all kinds of things that Python is really easy to
There's a lot of great information, a lot of great materials.
So like while I'm coding in Python, somewhere else, I might even just open up a little Python that can test. Oh, I'm trying to add these two things together. Will that actually work? And then, yeah.
And so we'll see. And it's an argument. I never, Dan Kaminsky said.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, I'm just talking.
But you have to just build it into their training, into their product, like Visual Studio.
I want to see if I can get up,
Because they're busy.
get up to
We're
speed
involved in
fast
everything.
on this, so I can.
Well, that was yesterday. I don't have enough knowledge to have a strong opinion, but now I'm gonna find out because I'm teaching. the first
Basically,
grade.
the multiple,
And I'm trying to find
Multiple.
multiple,
Well,
multiple things.
Yeah.
I'm also down with computer training.
and they read.
You
Yeah.
know, and so I know when you
Code and how long it takes them to fix
be
it.
able to do.
And they're
more.
taking the bottom.
So
20%
with
Because
Windows,
they're
and
they're
making them
not
take my
that
training.
much of anything.
So they will
On
get
that.
them a security.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like
So,
community.
then they
so, you know, some new malware comes out and this is how it executes on the memory. So you can have something, some series that's like, oh, someone typed out malware on exe, whatever, and they hit enter. And so that is tracked in a single like Splunk. And so they can visualize, I mean, Splunk is more than that.
Which one?
Basically, I can just say I use Cortex XOR, which is by Palo Alto Networks.
Probably only have a few.
Basically,
Right, right.
well, I mean, they do different things. So like this is pretty high level, right? Because there's building blocks essentially. So this is, are there some event happening? Are there any new results? If so, notify analysts for review, add indicators to a whitelist, or add indicators to a firewall.
Right.
So like,
That's like the logic.
yeah, so in here, maybe an automation, like there might be Python code behind this, but I'm basically writing these things so that someone later could like draw these arrows on the visual diagram with the automation. So like if there's call an API, you can place a building block, fill out like the URL, whatever, and it'll return something, parse it. It's like, are there new results? Yes. And do that. I mean,
so you provide the input.
SOAR tools integrate with everything. So let's see. I have used Splunk, but I haven't used it in this context. But they have a specific SOAR tool called Splunk. So this does that. And so if you use Splunk already, you would use this. But if you don't use Splunk, you would potentially get QRadar or any of the others.
Exactly what he said, that's the risk, but at that, even in the thing when he, this is years ago, when on the video.
But I don't know, there's people that look at Splunk here, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. I know about that. So that's how it's like Marshall.
No, but that's when he started it, you know, when we started it.
You know, Microsoft's official position until 2002 was the security situation.
What are the tools?
Yeah, we can
Until then, they said, all you gotta do is make that run. And
Are they so much needed
just make it so honest users can get the work done.
No, I mean, like, my company does whatever the client wants.
Everybody's getting hacked so much.
So if
It's
there's,
actually bad for our brand. You need to like change our.
Oh, okay, oh, yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I come into, yeah. But like, if the decision was made to use QRadar over Splunk, then I learned that I need to.
Yeah, I understand.
Like,
I'm the same way.
I'm
So
not
what
like
do you
talking
see,
to.
what do you see the most? Like the main.
Oh, yeah.
That's my professor.
QRadar is kind of dying out,
He's
but
our
it's still,
professor.
Yeah.
still great.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Is it edible?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yeah, you eat paper.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how's that?
I can't wait 3 hours before.
Dissolvable. You know the rice thing that you use around they dissolve? The rice
Yeah.
packet, they're very thin. Yeah. Just joking.
You guys are seeing much more.
I'm trying to start a campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
with stickers, but
Oh, I have to like publicity or what kind of?
Right?
well, it's like, I'm still working on the graphic design, but it's like,
You gotta get on this.
yeah.
Question for you.
A lot of puzzle
Okay,
putting these together.
let's see.
Yeah.
mute?
Oh, yeah, I can't.
No.
I thought maybe like, oh, this sounds good because,
Yeah, you have to have tiny font, you have to wear glasses anyway.
yeah, and then you punch over, you know what I mean?
Meaning to just take my, or even my glasses and stuff. So I get here this.
Bandit font.
I'm ready to do it. So like the plan is right now.
Well. For fake test
So right now it's hanging because it's not hearing back.
Yeah. When you don't know somebody, and like, yeah, you're gonna.
We got, oh, you know what it is. I'm
Supposed to give
already.
you permission. Yeah, let's to have that.
That would make sense. Start to reconnecting around. Yeah, that makes sense.
Call a bunch of calls. Like actually.
You already have your master. Where did you go? What was it in? Wow.
Did you get a job?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's the whole point, right?
Sounds like a success.
Where did you go to undergrad?
Hey, Zach, I was actually able to solve B5. Or actually, I think it was B6 I was having trouble on.
Oh, B6. Bingo.
Yeah. Actually, B7 was fun. I just came up with a command for it.
Yeah, grep is really useful. I always end up like in Perl or Python for my regex because doing regex in the terminal. For some reason, it's so much harder for me.
The documentation isn't as well written.
It's true.
Will this still be able to be accessed after the course or after
The-
this lecture?
I don't know about the competition site, but all the individual sites will be. How long will the CTF site stay? Okay.
So this portion is not.
I think it may be recording.
Okay, so the people on Zoom, they go away,
Yeah.
because they report to you.
No, I mean, there's a scoreboard on the site,
Oh,
but I'm probably gonna do like a walkthrough at some point and ask people to come up and say how they solved it. I don't know. I guess it's 2:20. So, you think we should start going through some solutions, or?
However you prefer. We have, well, we book it until 4, but you know, whatever you guys, however you feel.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll go through some of Bandit.
Okay.
Get some people, if some people have been stuck, get them a little forward, and then see what happens. Okay. So you should have shared power. All right. So for Linux, or really any of these things, you don't know what you don't know. And that's what, like, I think is so great about Bandit, is it really lets you find out what you don't know and points you in the right direction to learn it. So I'm going to, I guess I'll just start at the beginning and share my screen here. Cut off. Looks good. Okay, so actually, let me just start very beginning. So first login. So here's the command I was using. And I'm gonna just, it's not snap. Whatever. I'll keep it big. Okay, so login, and is 0 is the password. And the password, so B1, it says the password for the next question is stored in a file called README located in the home directory. So just like in, let's see, I don't know what kind of information I'm going to be giving away by sharing my desktop. So ls, which is one of the commands that they say are useful, is basically like opening up a directory. So instead of like visually seeing this, what you can do is you can say ls or list, actually what does it say? List directory contents. So I ran manual. So this is explicitly what ls stands for, list directory contents. So you can just open the folder you're in, which is actually where README is, or you can specify wherever you want to open. So anywhere on the computer. So Linux, the root directory is /. So this is basically everything in the computer is stored here. So there's a few other commands, cd, change directory. So if you wanted to change a directory, maybe I'm getting into the weeds here, but ls-a, if we check man, -a is all. Do not ignore entry starting with period. So in Linux and other operating systems, when you want to hide a file from normal viewing, you put a period in front of the name. And that is a lot of times because you don't really need to see like every configuration file that you have. So you can see here, these, maybe you can see it's pretty small. Some of these folders are highlighted or a different color than the others because some of them are hidden, like this RE agent, Intel program data, that I don't really need to know, but because I feel like it, you can set it the properties to show hidden files. So anyway, so if we do ls-a on this Linux machine, we actually see a period, which actually means this directory, period, which is basically pointing to the directory above it, the parent directory. And then here are a bunch of hidden files, .bash logout, .bashrc, .profile. So these are things that are run when you open a terminal window. So these things get run. You can check those out with the cat command. Concatenate files and print on the standard output. So the standard output is what gets printed to the screen. to the terminal. So if I cat.bashrc, this will be a lot of stuff that won't matter to you, but you can see all these things are run when you connect and open it. So certain things like the color, like you can see that this is green, this is blue. That's all decided by variables within bashrc. So to actually get to the challenge, we can use cat to print a file to standard output. Before you do that, though, you might want to check what type of file is this with the file command. And it says it's ASCII text, so it's just text. And there it is. So here is the password to the next level. So feel free to run man on any of these commands and just spend some time figuring out what they do. But to get to the next level, you can connect internally, but I just exit because I have this command here. If you press up, it'll autofill the previous thing. Another fun thing is the history command. You can see all the commands that you've run since you cleared that. And you can actually do exclamation point 2004. That's the number that this command was run. And it'll actually run that command again. That was a fun thing that I didn't know about for a long time, so I figured I'd share that. But we're actually trying to go to bandit 1. So, and now we have to do the password. So I grabbed the password from the previous one, saved it to my clipboard, and thank God, so I don't have to do that again. And so now we're in bandit 1. So this basically just means we are another user on this computer bandit. And if you run ls, like I said, here's a period and here's period. If you run ls on period, that's saying ls on this folder. So that's basically default. But if you do ls ... you're going to print out the list of all of the directories above this one. And on Linux, this command is going up 2 levels. You do ... /.. You can see like where this stuff is actually located. So, well, if you do pwd, actually, it'll tell you specifically. You are in /home/bandit1. And in home, so if I change directory into home, do ls, this is all of the users on this machine that are normal users. There are plenty of other like daemons that are doing things in the background, but these are all individual users that have an account. So if we want to, so we have to go to bandit 1. That's where we are. And you can see this little tilde is basically short for your home directory. So you're bandit 1. So your home directory is /home/bandit1. So if you do ls nothing, ls dot, ls/home/bandit1, ls/tilde, you're all going to get the same response because all of those things mean the same thing, or at least they're pointing to the same thing. So like if you're off in the root directory and you're messing around and doing whatever, you can just cd back into your home directory, and that's like the easiest way to do that is with the tilde. But so why am I going into all this? Well, the password to the next question is stored in a file called dash located in the home directory. So we can see it here, right? Like we can see the dash right here. But if we try to run the command cat dash, we're put into the next line. And what happened? If I type something, test, it'll repeat it. So this is actually, and then I'm going to press Control C to exit, that little interactive cat command, if you check the manual for cat, you'll see that with no file, or when file is dashed, read the standard input. And so this prints to standard output what is put into it. So when I do cat, when I run cat, it's actually just going to print out exactly what I type it. So this isn't that useful in and of itself. You know, I can have a conversation with myself, but it's useful when chaining together different things in different contexts. So if I actually want to find dash, if I want to actually access dash, I have to be more specific. So because of how cat works, and also like you could find other commands to print this out, but like less, but that has its own problem because it has its own functionality with dash. And does anyone know how to exit less?
Control D.
Control C doesn't work, Control D doesn't work.
Period.
Control Z.
Just plain Q? Well, I busted it.
Control. Okay, Karen, you already typed E.
You should leave left.
Yeah, I think it's because I did dash. So this is
Now
a,
Control D would work, right?
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
yeah, so maybe I'll just do that.
That kind of thing, huh?
So
Can you zoom it up a little bit?
yeah, I'm just so here we are in Bandit 2, and actually I'm gonna go Bandit 0. This is why it's good to write this stuff down. Cat readme, grab that, exit, Bandit 1, paste it, and now we're back here. So, and I've been using the clear command to clear the screen. It still exists if you scroll up, but it's just for presentation why I'm doing that, to make it easier to read. So ls, we have this dash. So I did talk about a lot of different ways to access, to talk about a location on a machine. So we're in right, if we print, I'll just show the man page for that. Print name of current working directory, print the full name of the current working directory. We're going to see that it's home bandit 1, and it's also tilde. So where this actual file is, right? We know it's within this folder. We know explicitly the location. So what we could do is we could do cat // and that'll actually work because we're specifying it's not dash as a special character, it's like an actual like file name located in this folder. So you can do all those other things as well. You can do cat // you can do cat /home /bandit1 /dash. You may even be able to specify it in quotes. No, you can't do that. But so if anyone has another way of doing that and wants to share, feel free. But there's like a lot of things that are like tangential that you kind of just learn as you try and solve this problem. Like you could just Google how to open a file with a dash file name, right? And Stack Overflow tells you. I tried Gedit, Nano, V, LeafPad, and other text editors. It won't open. So using dash as an argument usually refers to standard in and out. which is standard out as printing to the screen. So if you want to open this type of file, you have to specify the full location of the file. So that's what I've been doing. So and you wouldn't have known that about cat unless how it worked, unless you check the man page. You won't know about these things unless you look them up. And so this is kind of just a way of, even there's a helpful reading materials about special characters and dash file names there. So we have the password. Now, yeah.
The dash change the characteristic of the file. Because usually with any cat, it will print out the content of the file.
Yeah.
Right, so the dash is changing the characteristic.
So it's not changing the characteristic of the file, it's a characteristic of the cat command itself. If you remember
Oh, okay.
in cat, when
Right, it's just listed.
when file is dash, it has different behavior.
Oh, okay.
So that's just like someone read this and was like, oh,
Yeah, okay, got it.
I'll write a challenge about that. So now on to Bandit 2. There's a lot of stuff installed that you really don't need for any of these challenges. So whatever that, take that as you may. So the password for the next question is stored in a file called spaces in this file name located in the home directory. So in our home directory, this looks like 4 separate files from what we've seen before, right? And so if I try to do cat spaces in this file name, it's trying to actually open 5 separate files because that's how cat works. If you can open multiple files, if you do ls-a, I can do cat.bash logout .bash rc, and it will concatenate. It'll print both of those things in a row. So that's the behavior we're trying to avoid. So how do you actually open this file? There's a couple things to know. So you can do what's called escape a character. So normally it's going to read a space as a separation between file names. But if you use a backslash and then a space, you're telling it interpret this next character as text. You're escaping it. That's what it's called. Yeah, yeah. Human language. So in this, and I might have done the wrong slashes, but there we go. So that works. The other thing you can do is actually put a quote around it. And that will also work. And if you just do S and then hit tab, it'll actually autocomplete. If there's only one file in that folder starting with S, it'll autocomplete it for you. So you don't even have to write it. Also, if you do that within the quotes, that'll also work.
But if you only do spaces and then a slash and then tab, it won't do it. Sorry.
If you say that again?
Okay, never mind. I just think if you do spaces slash tab, will it actually fill out all the rest?
Spaces slash tab will work.
It will, okay.
But if you do, like, if you're misinterpreting it and you do spaces slash space, it'll actually fix it for you. But like, it won't work if you're escaping it while also putting quotes around it. And because there's no such file that exists. I could make that file, but
if it's also the only file in the directory, you can do SP and then asterisk. And it'll search
yeah,
for.
that's true.
SP?
Yeah, so or even just S. Star is a special character. It's a wild card, which means anything. So that's useful in regular expressions. Basically what this is going to do, so you can't actually make new files on in this because they've locked it down in that way, but you can go to the temp directory, you can see it has a special characteristic that you can basically always use it. Oh, oops, cd into /tmp, because this is in the root directory. So you can't actually run ls. This is the one directory you can't do that unless you set another directory to have those permissions. But what you can do is make a directory, mkdir, and just name it whatever you want. So just e3 test. So I can't actually see that, but I can change directory into it. And now I have, now I can do whatever I want. So touch basically makes a file. I mean, what it does is it updates the timestamp, but if the file doesn't exist, it creates it with nothing in it. So now I have a file called A, but if I cat it, there's nothing in it. So so what does home look like again? So spaces in this file name. I don't even remember why I was doing all this, but can't find spaces in this file. Well, anyway, that'll be useful later, but I'm just gonna cat space. Oh yeah, you were gonna do star, right? You're saying star. So if I create multiple files, so touch, well, I guess I'm going to echo, which prints to the screen without like making a file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect the output. So normally it's directed into standard output, std out. But I can redirect it with this symbol and put it into a file. So I'm going to create a file called A, or a file. So I cat a file. Oh, actually, I already have A, right? So when I hit tab to autocomplete, it's like, oh, there's two files here. Which one do you mean? But if I wanted to, I believe there's nothing in A. So I'm going to echo test2 into A. Now there's something in both files. So if I do cat a star, it's actually going to print both those files out, because A basically means 0 or more of anything. So A fulfills this, and then a file also fulfills this. So what I was saying before was in here, if there is more than one file that starts with S, I would need to I would want to be careful about using the star. So if there was something that started with S but not SP, I could do cat SP star, and that would be specific enough. I mean, you can do as specific as you want. But I'm like, it's always good habit in cyber and all this stuff is to be as lazy as possible, and let the computer do the work for you. So I'm just going to, and that's why I spent so much time explaining all the different ways to do this. So I'm going to go to the next level. So what is the next level? The password for the next level is stored in a hidden file in the in here directory. So I've already sort of given the answer to this with reading the man page to ls. But if you do -a, it does not ignore the entry starting with dot, all the hidden files. So I can just do ls-a, and here, or actually, in here isn't hidden. But if I cd in here and then do ls-a, here is the hidden file. And also, I said before, you can specify what folder you want to run ls on. So I can do ls-a in here, and it's going to open that file and run whatever I've decided. These are called flags, the dashes, like the dash characters. So if I want to cat that, I can just do cat in here, and then it'll know that's the only file in there. So I can just press tab. Or I can do dot tab. Actually, I can't, because there's the pointers to that directory and the parent directory, as you can see here. You have a question? No?
How about subdirectory? They point to the parent directory, but how about the subdirectory?
So the subdirectory is just going to be named. Like in this folder, we can see everything that's here. So there's I'll call it a pointer to the current directory, the parent directory, and then anything that's named is going to be a subdirectory. If it's blue, that's how it's shown here. If it's white, it's a file. I can run file on in here, and it'll tell me it's a directory.
So
Yeah, that's true.
And if you do a cat A star, would it list the content of the files in the subdirectory also?
No, generally not. There's if you want to list the files in a subdirectory, you would probably use find, and you can recursively do that. LS might have a recursive. Yeah, it has a recursive thing. So if you want to run ls capital R, it'll print out dot. So in dot colon, this is inside the current directory, is in here, and then dot slash in here colon, there's nothing inside here. But if you do dash ls ra, and you can do it, you can separate these flags like this, or you can stack them up. It depends on the command, and it's pretty inconsistent. But if you read the manual for each one, it'll tell you. And you can see here's every file in our current directory, and here's all the files inside this directory. So I'm going to just cat in here dot hidden, and there we go. Any comments? I should probably be.
The name hidden is just arbitrary, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So Q. Okay, yes. So fun fact, I tried to open it with less. It's the opposite of more. What is more? A file perusal filter. So you can open things with more, and then some. Like there's a lot of people being clever in their naming conventions of things. And so yes.
Why is there no space after the slash?
The space after the slash.
After cat in the area. I just hear it. Sometimes there's spaces, sometimes there's not. No.
So, okay, so this is the name of the file isn't in here slash dot hidden, right? That's
Right.
it's the location. So if there, it's the spaces after the slashes was more, I think that was just escaping the spaces
Thank you. Yeah.
for the spaces in the file name. Yeah, so remembering to do forward or backslash can be kind of annoying, especially if you're working in between Windows and Linux, because Windows doesn't separate directories like this. I can just open up my like command line. You can see here it's C. Is that backslash or is that forward slash? That's backslash. So this one uses backslash to separate the directory. So in my C drive slash users slash arrow is my username. But in Linux, you can do pwd, you know, it's /home/bandit. So, you know, this is kind of the
syntax. That
yeah, this is the kind of thing that it just takes I mean, you'll still mess it up, you know, even if you're doing it full time. every so often.
There's no other fancy words for backslash and forward slash. That's it.
I
Yeah.
Just curious.
is it,
Any other way?
I've never heard it anywhere.
Sounds good. Makes more sense.
Okay.
What would be a purpose, someone using these non-standard names for obscurity, I'm thinking, so that, somebody hacked into that.
Yeah,
What other purpose?
well, like anyone that's hacked into your machine will probably know how to search for hidden files. Because that's like,
Right, so when
They
will
made it
people
that
use
far.
it? So
Yeah,
when
they
will
made
people
it
use it? Maybe a beginner hack into your machine.
well, so a lot of hidden files are just configuration files. So
Right,
like-
beyond that, is there any purpose?
They're not, they're just for
Configuration
convenience,
files.
right? They're not actually hidden.
Okay.
It's so that it's not, you're not like, you don't have this mass
Right.
amount of.
Okay, for
Check.
convenience. Okay.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
make
block
it
your
easier
Okay,
to
that
use,
makes
that
sense.
to reduce clutter on your screen, so it's
Right,
still
right,
there, but it's not shown to you.
Excellent, that's what I want to know.
So-
Okay, thank you.
like if I run the, I don't want to, well, if I run the directory command on Windows, like I still get these dots and I get all these configuration files that I don't necessarily need. I mean, some of these are directories. These are the only config. But if I'm just looking for like, my desktop downloads, I don't really care about that kind of stuff, right? So like bash RC, like you may want to change that every so often, like for, adding aliases or stuff to make your life easier. But like that gets run every time you open the terminal. It's not something that you're like going to be editing every time you open a folder, right? So I don't need to see everything. Anyway. Okay, so. Oh yeah, so. There's other ways, I think, if you do find dot, find dot will print everything. And I can just do cat this, and I just grab it. So for this one, getting from B4 to B5, there's something stored, there's a password stored in a file inside this directory. So what's in this directory? Many files, and they all start with dash, which is annoying. But we need to get something that's human readable and 1033 bytes in size and not executable. So this one, it's easy enough to not
Not there.
What an LL.
LL. Well, nothing is executable, so that is actually what we're looking for. But that doesn't narrow it down,
None of
right?
the sizes match. For all 33.
So you can get more specific. I think the find command. Find command has a size flag. So file uses n units of space, rounding up. The following suffixes can be used. So C for bytes. So if you run find in here, specify location, dash size 1033C. I need to switch this over. No, I was wrong. Put it in quotes, maybe.
But you can always keep that in mind.
Okay, I don't know why that's not showing up, but set all the files. And, okay, well, it says rounding up. The prefix is 65 greater than that.
I don't, did you put a dash? Or-
So it is, it's gonna be,
The option after find and then the path. Would it be
say that?
find dash size and then the path?
I tried that. Well, I have my. So this is the time if anyone has solved this.
What
speak
about
up.
your, it's. What about adding a star after the / into the path?
No, just try 33. It looks like all of them 33 bytes.
Yeah. So is this even the wrong one? The password, this I might be doing the wrong level. So if you do file in here star, we can see only one of these is actually human readable. So that would be my solution to this. And so that's an answer, but there's different ways of like, so if you don't want to have to copy anything, you can do many steps of like a little text string manipulation. So, okay, I'm going to use the pipe command, which basically is like redirect, but it's redirecting it into another command and not into a file. That's how I would specify it. If anyone else wants to say anything, but so here's a bunch of files. Oops. Here's a bunch of files, right? We're looking for the human readable one. So we can actually use the grep command to basically filter to include something. So we're looking for something that, if we didn't see all this, we would say grep text, because we know human readable, it's going to be readable as text. But maybe, like, I can't actually open that. So I'm going to pipe it again and try to cut. I'm going to set the delimiter to colon, and I actually have to specify the field. So if I say field 1, it's going to cut everything before the colon. If I say field 2, it's going to say everything after the colon. So now I actually just have the file name, and I can now open it. Anyone has any ideas of how to do that? So you can try to cat it.
Sometimes if that fails, I just use nano. Just open up the-
Well, I think you can do xargs.
And arg, come here.
Yeah. So xargs basically will run commands for you. It reads items from the standard input and executes the command. So this is kind of a nice workaround, because you can't actually pipe anything into cat, and you can't actually, like, you can't redirect it into cat. If you try that, it's going to try and create a file named cat. So xargs is a really powerful command that'll basically just pass the arguments from the previous whatever's directed into it into the command as if it were standard input. So that's a fancy way of doing it. I don't know if anyone else wants to do
I
it.
have a fast way.
Go for it. Strings.
Strings. Yeah.
Yep. So man strings prints the strings of printable characters in files. So you can use this on photos with metadata. You can use this on any, it's like one of the first things you do in like a CTF trying to identify, is there any information in this file that give me something. So if I run strings on in here star, it's going to print out all of the human readable strings. As in, like, there can be a lot of bytecode in different files, and this will just print out the human readable. So that's really useful. But if there's a lot of stuff in these files, even if it's human readable, it still can be nonsense. I mean, this is human readable, but like if you know exactly how long the password is, which I believe all these passwords are the same length, you could sort by that. But imagine that there's pages and pages of output here. Like you want to be able to be as specific as possible. And just preparing for like the future, in case there's some edge case that you're not aware of, like being as specific as possible with your commands, if you're going to save them and like rerun them in a script, can help you a lot on the way there. But like there's many different ways you can get to these passwords. And so here we go, Bandit 5. I think I hit S before I pasted. Yep. All right. So I'm gonna do like a couple more, I guess. And then and hopefully you'll have enough inspiration to do the rest of them. There's some that are really interesting. I might just do like 20, 28 or something, just to show. But since this is kind of like a for beginners, or like just some Linux tricks that anyone will find useful, I figured I'd keep going. So all right, so again in the in here directory. So now we have subdirectories. So if you remember -R, recursive. So we can see, oh Lord, here's a bunch of files with dashes in front of them, so we can't cat them. There's spaces in the files, so we're going to probably want to use some sort of regex to open it instead of, or like a wildcard, instead of like actually going through and trying to open all these files individually. Doesn't make sense, right? So
It's a green and white thing.
So you can run file to see. Let's just be in here. File star and right dots /star. So the file one, green, this is ASCII text with very long lines. That's going to show the same color as ASCII text. Dash file 3, gosh. So file 2, usually it's it actually means a different thing. If I run ls in here, yeah, same coloration. It usually indicates a different file type. So let's see, spaces file 2. Spaces file 3.
You can probably see in Bash RS. What does it mean? How is it describing Bash RS? Why
Yeah.
it's green?
So it's actually the permissions, I think.
Executable.
Yeah, so if it's executable, it's green. If it's not executable, it's white. Okay, so what are we actually looking for? I think this is now the human readable thing. So if we want to do find dot size 1033, No, we need to recursively check. Does that? How do you recurse and find? Doesn't do it automatically. So it does find every file within this directory, so and the subdirectories. So if I do find in here type F for file and size 1033. Oh, I didn't specify bytes. There we go. So I was just saying 1033. That's why there wasn't anything. So I don't even think we need to specify the type, but being as specific as possible is good practice. And so if I want to open this, I can do xargs cat. Actually, there is an exec. For find command specifically, there is an exec execute. So I think you can do dash exec like this. So the exec option of find. So with the so the basic usage of exec takes an external utility with optional arguments as its argument and executes it. If the string is present anywhere in the given command, each instance of it will be replaced by the path name currently being processed. So we're going to basically replace the output here with inside these curly braces. So I believe you can, I think it might be this, no?
So is there a goal to do it in one command? Because we know
Yeah.
exact file.
Yeah, I mean, we can just cat it, but I just thought it would be, I think it's just you have to follow it up with in the command. No? Well, that looks right.
No, that's it. That's it. Thank you. I can go from there. I can play that.
You can replace cat with ls, and then you see if it's got this exact file.
That's it.
But period after five.
Oh. Oh. Let's see, I think if we do dash exec cat, replace the quote, and then end the command, it'll print it. And there it is. The other way to do that is just grab it, copy it, cat it. But I thought I would make it difficult. But because of all the spaces, you could also, if you didn't want all that, you could run strings like Max pointed out. And that's also all text. So that still counts as a string. Oh well.
Got it. Shows in all. It's really cool.
So log out, will log you out. Control D also does that.
Is that it? Oh, that's it. They're all 33. So there's not just one.
So
Okay, so
this is about like user groups, users and groups. So the password to the next question is stored somewhere on the server and has the following properties. So you can run any find command on / on root, but that's gonna go through every file in the whole computer, including folders that just contain processes, because everything in Linux is a file. So having these specifications will narrow it down a bit, but you're still going to try to open a bunch of files you don't have permission to open. So what you can do is type that output, redirect the output rather to a device on Linux called null that you can just basically send everything you don't want into the garbage can. So that's
Who has it and who doesn't? Got it. So this is one.
So-
Okay, got it.
standard in, standard out. There's a couple different things there. So 0, I believe, is standard in, 1 is standard out, and 2 is standard error. So if you want to redirect the output, the normal output, you can do that with 1, or you don't even need to specify that because just using here, I'm going to go into cd temp / what was it? Well, anchor / temp test 444. CD, and here's a little neat thing. You can select the last valid submitted argument with in Bash with $_ and so that actually filled that in. And I always think that's neat.
Donald is a mask.
$_ will fill in the last argument that was valid.
The one that's in here. Oh, I got it.
But if you have a series
So
of
if we were
arguments,
just
would
in
it
the
fit
band,
all
we would have
of
to.
them?
Well, let's see. So I'm going to make directory temp
Thank you so much.
test 444. I'm just going to say, I mean, some of these will probably be taken, but maybe just for ease, I'm just going to go here. Make directory A, B, C, D, E. And then I'm going to CD into it. It's the last valid argument that was passed. So E was the last thing that was valid. So that's like just a fun thing that I found extremely useful. So I showed the history command too, which prints a list of all your previous commands, and it's stored in .bash history in your home directory, I believe. And if you do question or exclamation mark and then the number, so I'm going to go up a directory. So it'll tell me what the command that was run right there. But another thing you can do is
But it
actually
lists the wrong one too. Let's say you have to try a whole bunch before you get it right. The history will list everything.
yeah.
The wrong one at the right.
Yeah, so you can, so now though, $_ the last valid argument that was passed is different. So now if I run that, I'm actually going up a directory, right? Because the last valid argument that was passed is ... So this is actually rerunning this command, which is fine. One fun thing also is ! Which will run the previous command you just ran. So that's not just the argument that was passed, it's the entire thing. So that's useful. And you can also include it in other stuff. So what's the command interpolation thing? Okay, I'm just gonna go into CDE, CDE, and
Oh, I keep doing that. Sometimes it does. sometimes it doesn't.
echo
So
that. Oh, that's 52A.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's it.
Like cat A, what is it? Shell embedding. And substitution. Yeah, so backticks. I was just trying to look up. There's another way of specifying command substitution besides backticks. Yes, $sign. Sorry. So you can run a command within. So if you're like combining a lot of different commands, sometimes like having to pass into xargs instead of doing whatever, running exec instead of piping. Like piping is the most simple thing where it's like, here's the output, put it into this, pipe into this, pipe into this. But then you'll run into commands like cat that you can't pipe into. So you have to, there's all these things. So like you can run inside another command, you can basically specify another command to run. So if you did something like, I don't know, so cat A, and then I wanted to like echo that command's output into a file. I could say, I'm going to substitute a command, and this is going to be the previous command, and I'm going to pass it into B. So this is the actual full command that was just run. So I'm going to, let's see what actually happened in B. So what happened was I printed out the output of this command, which was something being printed, and then redirected that output into B. So this is like a pretty cool thing that has a lot of implications, but I'm being.
So
Yeah.
A and B are strings or can they be variables?
These A and B are files.
Oh, fine.
So this double exclamation means the previous command?
Yeah. So these are just like little Linux things that I learned at one point, and then and like you don't know what you don't know. It's like these things are so useful, and I don't know for
Is it on
like
in the manual?
yeah, but it's like to get to the point
You
where
have to
you
know
would
it
read that.
already to go
Yeah.
look at it.
So I don't know if anyone has cool Linux stuff they want to show off. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to make this be beginner and also
That's great. Yes, it's the
expert
tips
friendly.
for- yeah.
So hopefully I'm not like overloading people that are just starting, but
What's the difference between piping and?
redirecting.
Yeah.
So piping is taking the output of another command. It's basically redirecting standard in, I believe. It's redirecting into standard in. So it's like where a command expects to get information from. So normally
Right, that's redirected.
right here, A is like the what we're typing in, like we're typing in cat A. So that's standard in. What just got printed out is standard out. If there is an error, like if we run ls here, you can't open this, permission denied. If I don't want to get that, what I can do is I can redirect to, which is not very explicit, but I said before, standard in is 0, standard out is 1, and standard error is 2. So I can actually redirect this into, I can redirect it into E/C. Well, can I? I guess, maybe. All right, go into E, and now there's C. If I cat C, here is that error. So I redirected the error, instead of printing it to the terminal, I printed it to a file. If you want to just throw it into the void, so if I do ls ls dot dot, here's this error, you can do to redirected into device null. So this is just a thing you have to remember or write down. And it doesn't go anywhere. It's basically piped into the garbage can. So if you print it out, if you're printing out a lot of stuff that had good and bad, and you just want to get the good stuff, you can pipe the bad stuff somewhere else and just save the good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's actually what we're going to do. This all had a point for this thing. So if I run find on slash, like here's every file on this computer, I'm going to get a lot of permission denied. I'm actually not seeing that much of that, but I am seeing a lot of stuff that I don't need to see, right?
Does the node get cleaned out instantly? or-
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so if I find something, only if I bandit user bandit 7. So I can do user, I believe, bandit 7 dash group bandit 6 and dash size 33 bytes. You can see there's all this permission denied here. So we do find this password here, but say I just want the good stuff. I can say to dev null. And I just get the right thing. So yeah, that's it. So didn't really spend much time on under the wire, but you can definitely do that on your own time. There's more than enough things to learn about Linux forever. But I hope that was at least somewhat interesting. I learned something.
It is. I like it.
Good job, Zach.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Excellent.
I think we're good, right?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Or unless anyone else wants to say something. No? No? Well, I think that this wraps up the meeting for this month. Hope you guys enjoy it. Next month, we're gonna have Wireshark with Irvin. And then we'll keep you guys posted on the future stuff that we have in mind for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. So thank you for coming today, for the ones in the Bay Area. Thank you for showing the support, and for the online. Thank you as well for showing
Light
up.
of the trolls.
Yeah.
Light of the trolls.
Thank you.
We knocked them out.
Yeah.
Reminder of the Discord and the Pacific Hackers Association.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah, so we have a Discord. I will, you have the link for, you wanna?
I'm sure I can find it somewhere.
We're gonna place the link for Discord, so you can join us. And then, yeah, for Pacific Hackers Association, just again, you wanna help us out by even spreading the word. You know, we need the support from the community. So again, thank you so much in advance, and we'll look forward to see everyone next month, and same place, same time, I think. And yeah, we'll see you.
Thank
then.
you, sir.
Thank you, Sal. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, great meeting.
Max is still there, but thank you, Max, as well. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was great.
Thank
Thank you. I like that level.
Yeah, you're welcome. I never know what level everyone's at, so.
Well, they tip, so any level, you can understand.